Good morning and welcome. Today I'll be discussing Sally Gould. This presentation will include a brief biography of Sally Gould, a description of some contributions that Gould has made to nursing, some attributes and values that make Gould a good leader, and towards the end I'll be reflecting on my research of Sally and how it has shaped my own professional identity. Sally Gould is a Wiradjuri woman who grew up in Sydney's inner south, namely St. Peter's. She was often bullied and harassed by her peers during primary school due to racism and discrimination. After visiting hospital many times as a child due to this childhood illness and injuries obtained during these episodes of bullying, Sally became interested in becoming a nurse. In her 2005 biography, Gould explains that when she expresses these desires to those around her, she was met with skepticism at best and discrimination and racism at worst. Gould recalls a man who divulged that he believed that she wouldn't be accepted into the program, much less complete the training because she was Aboriginal. However, these instances did not deter her. At 14, she left high school after completing her intermediate certificate, and at 16 years old, Sally was accepted into Royal Prince Alfred Hospital's nurse training program, making her the first First Nations person to become a nurse in New South Wales once she graduated a year later. After working in several hospitals and being exposed to racism and discrimination against herself and other Indigenous people, Sally helped to establish the Aboriginal Medical Service, located in Redfern in 1971. She worked there, caring for her own community for several years before moving to Brisbane. In Brisbane, she attained accreditation to become a lecturer at the Queensland University of Technology, where she responded to the gap in understanding of Indigenous health issues by teaching her own students how to care for Indigenous peoples. Her work at QUT laid the foundation for and is seen as a precursor to the cultural competency education that we see in Australia today. In 1995, Gould completed her master's degree where she researched why there were so few Aboriginal nurses. This research would lead her, as well as other Indigenous nurses, to establish the Congress of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Nurses and Midwives, or CATSNM, in which she was the first executive director. The founding aim of CATSNM was to increase the recruitment and retention rates of Indigenous nurses. However, it has achieved much more than that since its establishment. CATSNM was instrumental in bringing standalone subjects about Indigenous health and history into nurse training and allowing Indigenous nurses' voices to be heard and recognised. In 1985, Sally was awarded an OAM for her services to the nursing education in Aboriginal health. She was awarded the Senior Australian of the Year award in 2006 for much of the same contributions to Australian society. As previously mentioned, Dr. Gould became the first Indigenous person to become a nurse in New South Wales, an outstanding achievement that should be both recognised and celebrated. The hardships and doubts from other people must have been immense during this time, and Sally's determination should be applauded. Secondly, the foundation of CATSNM is what I believe to be one of Sally's greatest contributions to the nursing profession. CATSNM provides Indigenous nurses a platform to voice their opinions and views of healthcare within Australia, a perspective that is all too often overlooked. The Congress also gives Indigenous nurses an incredible sense of camaraderie and community, something Sally knew would be vital to encourage the recruitment and retainment of Indigenous nurses that is so desperately needed within Australia. In the 2021 CATSNM annual report, it was reported that there are now over 2,000 members of the organisation. They provide almost 20 scholarships for Indigenous nurses to further their education and have programs that strive to enable recruitment and upskilling for their members. Furthermore, they hold conferences throughout major cities in Australia each year to celebrate Indigenous nursing achievements and bring a sense of community to the Indigenous nursing workforce. Without Sally's innovation and vision for her own community, none of this would be possible. Before I discuss the values and attributes that Sally has showcased throughout her career which make her a good leader, I would like to define the difference between value and attributes. Values are a belief system that someone pertains that dictates how they behave and function. Nurse leaders appear more authentic when they use their core values in order to dictate how they lead. Values of a good nurse include passion, vision, humility, and the empowerment of others. Attributes are characteristics of a person's behaviour. As well as values, these characteristics are what makes a good leader. Some attributes include professional development, advocacy, confidence, and emotional intelligence. Lifelong learning is an important attribute of a good nurse leader. Lifelong learners are passionate about continuous education and believe that it's not enough to know just enough. They are consistently attempting to grow their depth of knowledge in order to practice best in their field. Lifelong learning is an important nursing leader's characteristic for a variety of different reasons. Firstly, through a commitment to lifelong learning, nurse leaders are able to stay up to date with best practice models and pass on this knowledge to their peers. Moreover, through their education, lifelong learners are able to identify areas of the nursing world that require development and act accordingly to create worthwhile change within their community. Their mindset is focused on growth rather than rigidity and regulations, which is important in fostering innovation and change within the healthcare system. Dr. Goold has displayed a commitment to lifelong learning throughout her entire career. Goold has obtained many diplomas and degrees in her life, including Bachelor's of Applied Science, a diploma in nurse education, a Master's in Nursing Studies, and a doctorate in nursing in 2002. Through continuous lifelong learning, Sally was able to stay up to date in areas and identify areas that needed development within the nursing field, namely the retention and recruitment of Indigenous nurses, which ultimately led her to the development of CATSIM. Vision is an important attribute of a nurse leader as they are able to inspire others to work with them and achieve and each other towards a shared goal. Vision and innovation are intrinsically linked. If vision is the idea or dream for a better future, innovation is the vehicle that makes that dream become a reality. Innovation requires creative thinking and problem solving to develop strategies that will change the future for the better. As the healthcare system is an ever-changing landscape, both vision and innovation are vital to the improvement of healthcare. Innovation is important to nursing care as it enables us to move forward to optimize best practice. Dr. Gould showcased her ability to create a shared vision within her own community and innovate a new way of bringing Indigenous nurses' voices to the table through the foundation of CATSINAM. The innovation of CATSINAM was a response to Gould's vision of equity and self-determination for Indigenous peoples. CATSINAM has enabled Indigenous voices to be heard within the nursing sphere more than ever before and is an outstanding avenue to build community within Indigenous nurses. Next, I'll be reflecting on my research and how this will shape my professional identity. Sally is a trailblazer in Indigenous nursing and Indigenous health. However, she should be an inspiration to all nurses. I have learned a lot about what makes a good nurse leader through my research of her life and achievements. She has been a mentor to so many throughout her career. However, she simultaneously always continued her own education. She continued to strive for excellence throughout her career, and her determination to improve the health status of Indigenous people within Australia is evident. She exhibits many amazing attributes, such as critical thinking, advocacy, and continuous professional development, which we can all apply to our professional lives. Dr. Gould never let other people's doubts about her deter her from achieving her goals and doing great things for her community. Although Sally experienced doubts from others, I believe her determination and self-belief is something that a lot of nursing students, including myself, can take as inspiration in order to overcome self-doubt. So how will this shape my own professional identity? Throughout my research of Sally Gould, I have found a lot of takeaways that I can apply to my own professional identity. I now understand the importance of striving for continuous professional development and the benefits of being a lifelong learner. As previously mentioned, I aim to have determination to achieve my goals and confidence in my capabilities. Sally showed me the importance of mentorship, and I hope I will someday be able to be a mentor for future generations of nurses. However, I also hope that I am always open to being mentored myself. Although I understood the importance of cultural competency before, I believe this was further reiterated within my research of this presentation. Moreover, I hope to be an advocate not only for my patients, but also myself and my peers within the nursing workforce, just as Sally was for her own. Lastly, I hope to be able to embrace change and new innovations that improve patient safety and best practice, as I have learned through my research that this is the only way for true, substantial change in the healthcare system to occur. Thank you.